Hey there, Cancer. Welcome to my channel, Holy Egg. So happy to have you here. So glad you clicked on this video. Today I'm going to be doing your June tarot scope. So just checking into the energies and messages and guidance for Cancer for the month of June. Today I'm going to be using my trusty Neo tarot deck. So yes, allow me a brief moment to drop in and I will see you on the other side. Okay, so let's get into it. Give me a moment. So the card that's like the focus for the month of June is the Four of Swords. So you're really being called this month to take a moment to reflect. This could involve journaling, this could involve meditation, this could involve like you just doing something that takes your mind off of a situation in your life that is weighing heavily on you. And I see like with what's rooting and like pushing this energy forward is the Tower card. So for Cancers that are watching this, it could be that like, and this could be recent past, this could have happened a year ago, but you're still processing it, of like something either internally or externally, some circumstance has showed you that your foundation has not been steady. You have not been operating off of I want to say like not operating off of truth, but not in the sense of like where, you know, you're being dishonest. If anything, maybe it's you being dishonest with yourself, but there was some external circumstance that shifted, that told you, that showed you, I can't operate in the same way that I have anymore. There's something that needs to change because what the beliefs that I've built my life upon, I'm realizing that they aren't true to me anymore, that they aren't serving my highest and best. And sometimes with the Tower, for some people, Tower moments can come as like, oh, hallelujah, I finally figured it out. I can let this thing go. But for other people, for in some instances, it could be really uncomfortable because it might have been like a relationship that ended, a career opportunity that didn't go the way that you wanted it to, maybe coming to a realization, a painful realization about a friendship that you might have had, and realizing that that external circumstance wasn't serving your highest and best. Like that can be a painful situation, but however comfortable or welcomed this Tower moment is, for the month of June, you're being called to like kind of give yourself a break, and really work on like rejuvenating your mental space. Because I mean, with any Tower moment, like it really, when you come to a deep realization about something, someone, yourself, it takes up a lot of your mental space. And you know, I know for myself, like my brain can like, it can turn into a hamster wheel of me just like replaying the same events over and over again, the same conversation over and over again, and wondering like what I could have done differently, what I could have said differently, how I could have been different in order to have avoided this thing happening. Or even if it's, you know, a welcome realization, it could be, you know, thinking so much about like, oh, well, I have to change this, I have to change that, I have to do blah, 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 blah. And it really takes up a lot of mental space. So for the month of June, it's like really, really being called to come back to center and to find ways to just like, to find peace with where you are in the present moment, with what you may be lost, with what you have realized, and coming to a place of peace with that. And for what's coming into your conscious awareness for the month of June, we have the Five of Wands. And this is conflict. Really, when I see this, I see it more so as internal conflict of like, and also anger, frustration, wanting things to be different. Like to me, this is truly, it's really like a card of like resistance to what is and wanting to lash out in some way. And it could be that you are For some people, you might be expressing this in somewhat unhealthy ways. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't be expressing it. Like when you feel anger, when you feel frustration, it's always important to recognize that and express it in a way that is healthy and nurturing. But with the card of focus being the Four of Swords, it's like it's really allowing yourself to have moments where you just rest, because it's going to come up in the month of June where you feel like deep frustration, deep resistance. Like this is really a card of contraction. But one of the beautiful things about any contraction is that like when you're in moments of resistance to what is and like beating yourself up and just like being angry with what's happening in the present moment, if you allow yourself to kind of come back to center and rest and rejuvenate and like just paying attention to your emotions and figuring out how to manage them, what comes next is a period of incredible expansion. And what I found is like the more intense the contraction, the more intense the expansion is coming. And I would imagine with this Four of Swords, it could be that you are coming up on a period of expansion, but in order to get there, in order to be fully capable of maintaining that expansion, you really have to have moments, consistent moments where you are reflecting and resting and finding ways to rejuvenate. But most importantly, like reflecting on this Five of Wands, reflecting on the feelings of anger and frustration and internal conflict. And what we have, like what might be guiding you, what in your subconscious might be guiding you in the month of May, we have the Nine of Pentacles. And as I was looking at this and getting messages from it, it could be like, I'm honestly getting like there's a period of grief. Like there's a part of you that just really wants things to go back to the way that they were. You're really like aching for the stability that you felt in, you know, a previous mindset or previous relationship, previous situation, whatever that might be. And a part of you wants the stability that you found in that, even if it was stability that wasn't serving your highest and best. It's still like, what is it that saying, like the devil that you know, which, you know, we become comfortable with these thorns in our sides and we come up with all of these stories about how they might be serving us. And it's like I said, it's uncomfortable to let those things go. And there's a part of you that wants things to go back to the way that they were, a part of you that feels safer in the way that things were, in the mindset that you had. And that might be where all of this frustration and turmoil is coming from, because you're just really you're really kind of struggling against the fact that things have to change. You're struggling against the fact that like you might have to change, or that the relationship or career that you wanted isn't what, it's not panning out the way that you would have wanted it to. So obviously there's going to be feelings of frustration and anger and resentment even. And that's why it's even more important to come back to center, to really have moments where you're just like allowing yourself to rest. And it could be that you're just like feeling like that, where you're just like, no, I don't want to do anything. And what I say to that is like, don't beat yourself up about like, I guess, wanting to be lazy or like not being productive. Because I mean, this Tower card energy, like this is major arcana. This is like a huge surrendering moment. And it whenever Tower moments come up for me, like they're genuinely life changing. So it's, for the month of June, it's really important to take moments to rest and not beat yourself up for wanting to rest or not being as productive as you feel like you should be. And it could be that too, that might be part of the like resistance that you're feeling, is like resistance to your body and your mind saying, no, we don't need to do anything. Because so much of, especially like in the summertime in June, like these are the months where like we're supposed to be going out and having fun and feeling free and whatever, soaking up the sun, as they say. So it could be that you're feeling resistance to this part of you that's just saying like, no, we need to chill out. A part of you that's just like wanting to be in resistance to this feeling of not wanting to do anything. But like I said, like it's important to not beat yourself up around it, to really give yourself that time to rest because it's needed. Oof. And where this is moving you to is like release. Realizing kind of where you have been holding yourself back, where you maybe have been in a prison of your own making, either mentally or in your external environment, of just realizing like the fears and anxieties that held you back and kept you from living the life that you wanted to live, from having the relationships that you wanted to have, from having the career that you wanted to have. But like, yeah, this is where you're being guided to, is to really look at the ways in which you hold yourself back, the ways in which you've imagined like, oh, well, I can't do that. I can't do this. Like, it's impossible for that to happen. Like, oh, that will never happen. Or, you know, the relationship that dream relationship that I have in my brain, like, I could never have that. And like realizing like the bullshit that lies in these stories that we tell ourselves about what we are and aren't worthy of, what we can and can't have, what is and isn't impossible. Coming into the realization that that is bullshit, and that you are worthy of whatever you want, and that even if it looks like one door has closed, a window is open. So let's see, what additional messages do we have? Listen, be gentle with yourself. If that is like, that is exactly what these cards, that is the crux of the month of June. Be gentle with yourself. Like I said, there might be moments throughout the month where you feel deep resistance to what is, maybe anger towards yourself, anger towards another person, and it's always important to feel those things and not like hide from them, but be gentle with yourself in those moments. Be gentle with the fact that you are feeling frustration. Be gentle with the fact that you are feeling like you don't need to do anything, or like you don't want to do anything. Like, if there is any message that you should get for the month of June, it is to be gentle with yourself. Plant a seed and wait, and make space for it. So with this plant a seed and wait, I'm honestly kind of getting like planting a seed of self-love and nourishment, of just like having an idea about like, how do I want to feel in my mental space? How do I want to feel in my body? Where do I want to feel more peace in my life, or even more empowerment in my life? And with it saying plant a seed and wait, it might not be that like it bears fruit in the month of June, but it's really about like setting your intention, because you've kind of come to a life-changing realization, a life-changing situation, and in moments like that, you know, our foundation has been rocked. So it's about like planting the seed to the foundation that you want to build for yourself. It's like, yes, you could be looking around at the destruction of your life currently, and that could be bringing up a lot of painful feelings for you, a lot of challenging feelings for you. But the idea is to really, and that's also kind of what I'm getting with the Four of Swords and reflecting, is really think about like, what future do you want to create for yourself, and why do you want to create it for yourself? How do you imagine this future is going to make you feel, and allowing that seed to germinate and grow into your life. And like I said, it might not be something that bears fruit in the month of June, but it's really about like really coming to the intention of like, okay, this thing didn't pan out, or this element of my life needs to change, and how do I want it to change? What do I want my life to look like a year from now? How do I want to feel a year from now? And what can I do in the time between that to make that happen? How do I need to change and be better and be more at peace to allow this to happen? And what was the other card? Make space for it. And again, that kind of goes back to what I'm saying about like setting that intention, and like really seeing in your life where you can make space for this new part of you to grow. Because with Tower cards, again, it's like your foundation has been rocked, if not like completely dug up from the roots. So it's like really allowing, you could, it could be that because this foundation was completely dug up from the roots, that you do have all of this space now, all of this space in your mind, in your heart, in your in your time. And that's where all of this conflict could be coming up with. It's just like, well, shit, what do I do now? It's like really finding peace with the fact that you're making space for this new version of yourself, this stronger, more aligned version of yourself to grow. Then I got the Otter card. Give me a second. I'm going to get the book for this. Just a second. Okay. So here are the major points that I'm getting from this. And I don't see this as being like an energy that you're in right now, just from like all that I'm seeing here, but really coming back to like plant the seed and wait. I get the Otter card is what seed you're really being called to plant. And what this says is the Otter card represents unobstructed joy, playfulness, contentment. So what's sticking out to me is the Otter represents playfulness of a child available to us at any age, giddiness, reverence for life, lack of doubt, worry, or skepticism. And just imagine like how that would feel to be free of worry, doubt, skepticism, how that would look for you to have like the playfulness of a child, like what your life would need to look like, how you would need to operate in the world in order for you to experience more of that childlike playfulness. And really, I would say for the month of June, like really take time to envision that and envision like how you would need to change in order to become that person, in order to create that lived experience for yourself, to be in an experience of celebration, but not even celebrating some external achievement, but just like celebration of yourself and like the day-to-day moments, celebration of your life in the day-to-day moments. And what we have here, security. And really I'm kind of getting more so like coming to a place of inner security, a place where you're like, another tower moment can come and go, but I am stable in myself. I am secure in myself. I coming to a place where like you realize that that you have been able to handle this. And the energy that I'm getting with that is more so like there's really a need to retreat energetically, like kind of like bring your energy back to yourself. You could be putting a lot of your mental energy into this external thing that was lost or was shown to you to not be serving your greater good. So it's really calling you into bring more attention back to yourself, bring your energy back to yourself and like how you're feeling, how you're thinking, not necessarily on like the external elements that brought upon this tower moment. Sorry, y'all, I ended the video without talking about this one card here, Paradox. I'm going to come back to this. And it's funny, while I was looking into the Otter card, I was saying that reading the book about this is kind of boring to listen to. But I was looking into this Paradox card and the book for it. And honestly, like what they speak about in this it's way more eloquent than than how I could express this. I'm just going to read this for you and bear with me. This card is a reminder that we can hold two extremes at the same time. Sometimes we focus on things, whether internal or external, and see them as one-sided. But to hold the paradox within us requires strength, to see our most brilliant qualities and our most ugly. To acknowledge that they both live within us is a gateway to growth. Carl Jung said, "The paradox is one of our most valuable spiritual possessions." And for anyone who does shadow work, they know this to be true. But this can also be difficult for many people. If we have been raised in a rigid environment where things are viewed as black and white, it may be hard for us to accept our flaws, let alone love them. One of the best ways to slowly enter a relationship with our internal paradox is to remind ourselves that we did not create these things within us. We inherited them. It does not define us, and yet we are responsible for it. To work more deeply with paradox, as you witness yourself through the day, identify what types of thoughts you have more of, positive or negative. From there, find the polar extreme. For example, if you thought, I am so fucking lazy, acknowledge a couple things that makes that true. Then find the polar opposite, i.e., hardworking, and acknowledge a few things or experience that prove that you are hardworking. And to me, this is also going back to the crux of the crux of the reading, of reflection. I feel like this is a thing that needs to be reflected on the most, is maybe looking at the paradox in your life, the paradox within yourself, and realizing that, like, you are more than you imagine yourself to be, but also looking at the parts of yourself that are challenging, that you might imagine to be unlovable, and just kind of like hold space for that and realize, okay, what life circumstances brought me to this trait, brought me to this habit, and how can I make a change? So yeah, that's it. And yeah, I think that that's all that I have for you today, Cancer. I hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to start a conversation with me about this, down below, I would be more than happy to start that conversation. And I hope to see you in the next one. Ciao for now.